Ram Jethmalani, why now? Why has this decision been taken now in your view and not earlier?
Well, I really can't, I can't really explain this, but I must share with you a few facts which probably people don't know, and maybe even you don't know enough. You know, somebody had approached me for him. I can't recall who it was, but it was some relation of his. And I had told that person that you communicate to him that if he swears by the Holy Quran that he really repents the crimes that he has committed, that he will hereafter be a loyal Indian citizen, and third, that he will use every effort of his to put an end to the practice of terrorism in this country and obey all the instructions given to him by the government of India from time to time, I will do whatever I can in legal and political circles to secure a pardon for him. I was told that he had agreed to do it, but I insisted upon a sworn affidavit in jail, and it never came to me. And the only thing that is worrying me today, I mean, the man deserved a death sentence, there is no doubt about it. And I don't believe that it was a case for pardon. Except that what is bothering me today is that the Supreme Court was considering the question of delay in execution being a ground for commutation of the death sentence. The arguments have been over in that matter. Unfortunately, the Supreme Court has not delivered judgment for a long time, unconscionably long time if you ask me. And the execution of all other convicts seem to have been stayed. I don't know whether the execution of this gentleman, this accused, was also stayed or not. Somebody has to inquire. I am not in a position to give you a correct answer on that issue. But I believe that the long delay that had taken place in execution would be covered by the judgment which the Supreme Court will deliver. This is my only anxiety. Otherwise, he fully deserved his fate.
Sir, I don't want to cross swords with you. But
and listen, you
have changed your position on Afzal Guru a couple of occasions over the last 5 to 6 years.
Sorry?
Mr. Jethmalani, with great respect, but I don't want to let that one-on-one conversation, which I hope to have with you one day, take away from what I want to debate, which is this. And my next question is to Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi.
Yeah.
Dr. Singhvi,
yes.
What this decision today indicated was that when there is a political will, there is a way. So the question is, why was the will missing earlier? What led to the sudden turnaround? What happened to the excuse that law and order will be at the mercy of antisocial elements if Afzal Guru is hanged, which is what Sheila Dikshit said in May 2010?
Arnab, let me start on a lighter note. I think this is the classic dilemma, especially which journalists love to exploit. You are damned if you do, you are damned if you don't. So there is no point of time when you will not pick up a critical question. And I think that is unanswerable. Point number two, I am happy that this has happened as per a constitutional process. I am happy that we have not succumbed to a very large amount of divisive politics generated on this issue, dehors the legal and constitutional process by the BJP. I am happy that we don't have to give a badge of patriotism and jingoism by saying, look, I hung you first, and I hung you before first, and I hung you second. And I think the BJP's stand on this has been purely political. Number three, a very eminent lawyer, sometimes a member of the BJP, sometimes not a member of the BJP, my dear friend Mr. Jethmalani, in a sense, contradicts the BJP stand because he considers that even hanging him now may not have been the right time. But I'm just saying that by the way, because he's an independent voice and you can't really pin him down into the contours of the BJP. Although I did think that he's a member of the BJP. Fourth, yes, I accept that there has been perhaps a longer delay than was intended or should have happened in this. But the first concrete thing, apart from sensationalizing and we do tutu meme in politics, I think the time has come a long while ago to put an absolute clear legal time limit post Supreme Court judgment for the final decision on all mercy petitions, including execution, should be in the range of at the most 1 year or 18 months. And I think that will make all this chick and all this tutu meme of politics less. It will make for more substance and less sensationalism. So Fifthly, I think this 6 or 7 year delay.
This chick, a wonderful expression to which I do not have an English synonym.
Alleged here.
This chick and this tutu meme.
This 6 or
in the context of that, I would like to humbly remind you, and I want to extend this debate to Seshadri Chari.
Arnav, I haven't finished.
Sir, may I?
Arnav, I haven't finished.
May I quote a gentleman? May I quote you to you? May I quote you to you?
No, can I just finish? But can I finish? Then I'd love to hear you quoting me to me. Let me just finish in half a second. The 6 or 7 year delay alleged in the Afzal Guru case is not, it's a misleading figure because there is a process that the recommendation goes from the prosecuting state, the NCT, then to the Home Minister, then to the President.
Sir,
the moment the President asks one single question, the whole process repeats.
Sir, I must interrupt.
When the President changes,
this process,
it again goes.
This process,
so there is a delay of 2
how am I
years,
certain,
not that long. And lastly, I want to say one more thing, please.
I knew that you would say it is a process and a procedure. Sir, my question is...
No. I'm not saying... I was saying
sir, my question is with all respect, sir. I knew you have one argument, a matter of procedure. Something as simple as getting a recommendation of the Delhi government requires 16 reminders. Requires 16 reminders from the Ministry of Home Affairs. So the question is not, Dr. Singhvi, of procedure. The question is one of intent. Seshadri Chari, you want to draw it? Seshadri Chari.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you, Arnav, on this issue. The question is absolute intent. It was the same government which was all along saying that we cannot jump the queue.
Yeah.
And if this government could jump the queue for the sake of Ajmal Kasab, they again jumped the queue in the case of Afzal Guru. And the same government was all along saying that the presidential pardon, we are waiting for the presidential pardon,
the queue,
which was one of the biggest hoax this government has played on this country, because if you go by the constitutional procedure, it is the cabinet which sends the recommendation to the president. If the president does not agree with that recommendation, he can send it to the cabinet only once.
I will come.
And if the cabinet comes back to the president saying that no, we stand by our decision, the president of India cannot reject the cabinet decision at all.
This has
then why this government has been blaming former President Pratibha Patil? On what basis?
I will get a response, equal response from Abhishek Manu Singhvi, and before Sabha and Ujjwal Nikam I come to you. I want to go once to Ram Jethmalani because I know he has a flight to catch, I'm told. The question is to Ram Jethmalani that what happened to the queue? Regardless of your own position on what you feel about Afzal Guru, tell me, Ram Jethmalani. Abhishek Manu Singhvi said on the 27th of May 2011, there is a list which cannot be leapfrogged. Let us maintain the sobriety of the constitutional process. We are not indulging in vote bank politics. That was Abhishek Manu Singhvi in 2011.
The action of the government is wholly unintelligible. Nobody can find a rational explanation for it. Whatever explanation they have to offer, they are not offering. And Abhishek Singhvi is not telling us what actually the reason is, why this happened today and not before. So, I mean, it will all remain a mystery.
Which is what?
People will be entitled to draw the inference that the government always acts for oblique reasons.
Explain oblique reasons. Don't leave the definition of oblique.
But oblique is oblique. Can you define it any further? I mean, that which has no reference to any settled principle of justice.
Abhishek Singhvi, explain to us. Oblique reason, says Ram Jethmalani. For the longest time, thank you, Mr. Jethmalani. Actually, wait for Abhishek Manu Singhvi's reply. For the longest time, there has been confusion in government circles on whether or not a queue system should exist in deciding these matters. As is evident now, there was no queue. So why did your government's logic fall flat tonight?
I will love to hear my friend Abhishek.
Two answers. You may not be satisfied with the answer, Ram. Two answers. One, that the government is not obliged to give a reason before the hanging, and it has not given one. And I'm not here to speculate on the reason for the day and the time, because had they done it on the 22nd of March, somebody would have said it's the intercession period. Had they done it on 10th of May, the BJP would have said it's before the monsoon session. So there is no way I can give a reason for it. But I want to make a very quick second point. It's a political point. As a Rajya Sabha member in 2006 or 7 on the floor of the House, I placed a list of some 19 or 20 persons on death row. Included there were Rajiv Gandhi's killers.
Yeah.
From 98 to 2004, I asked the question, how many of them were touched or dealt with for execution? The answer was that from 98 to 2004, one alone had been executed. I asked the question as to how, on what basis the BJP justified that from 98 to 2004, including killers of Rajiv Gandhi, nobody was hanged. The answer which I gave myself was that there was no answer except that when you are in governance, you have to do things according to a certain system. When you are in the opposition with no accountability, it's easy to make accusations.
Sir, you haven't answered my question on whether there was a list. Was it a figment of Abhishek Manu Singhvi's imagination?
No, of course there was a list. And I stand by it that you cannot, generally keep resolving it. But
how come the list disappeared now? Where is the queue? No, I'm not talking of list. Where is the queue?
I would like
nobody,
to ask,
no, one minute. Nobody suggested Arnab.
The list that
nobody has suggested ever.
At that time, which is talking about 1990 to 2004, where is that list? Where is that list? If that list
I'm telling you, there is a list.
How did he jump the queue?
No, his point is that during Lal Krishna Advani's tenure as Home Minister, how many decisions on mercy petitions were taken, Mr. Chari? My information is that none. And despite the Tamil Nadu state government's accepting the advice of the state cabinet and recommending the death penalty for Rajiv's assassins, your government, the NDA government, did nothing on the matter.
No,
does that not expose the hypocrisy of the BJP in targeting the Congress over Afzal Guru?
It's not the question of doing nothing. This procedure, the same procedure has been followed by the J&K government also, and in which case also the same kind of procedures have been followed. We are not saying that the government has not followed the procedure. The judiciary is taken as its own.
The best case argument that can be made up in this situation, Sabha Naqvi, let me come to you, Ujjwal Nigam coming to you, is that the BJP did nothing and the Congress delayed. The BJP did nothing and the Congress delayed. Would you agree with that formulation, Sabha?
Arnab, I just want to say one thing. Let me just, the Congress, this is the second execution that the Congress regime has given us this year. And it, it is not about due process of law. And this is not the Kasab execution. This is a very different kind of execution. The Congress has been willing to stoke the embers in Kashmir because the Afzal Guru case is different. Because there were questions about how the case went in the trial, at the criminal trial level. Even the Supreme Court has said certain things about the case. Having said that, there are sensitivities about Kashmir, and I'm not suggesting that we don't have to do that. So this is a political move by the Congress to come through.
No, before you get into that, why don't we spend a little time on what you feel are the inconsistencies of the legal process? I thought the Supreme Court has dealt with all of that. Ujjwal Nigam, do you agree with what Sabha Naqvi says? That the legal process itself is riddled with holes. The legal process followed for Afzal Guru is not satisfactory. Ujjwal Nigam.
No, I don't agree with the view expressed by Shabana for the two reasons. the Supreme Court has taken into consideration all these aspects which were raised by Afzal Guru in the Supreme Court. Not only that, the Supreme Court has considered that why the acts committed by Afzal Guru squarely falls within the category of rarest of rare. Normally, the death penalty cannot be awarded under very normal circumstances. But if Supreme Court finds that a crime committed not only heinous or with the cruelty, but with after the previous planning. So we can't forget the very fact that Afzal Guru was a conspirator behind the attack of the parliament. I may remind Mr. Rob that even in Indira Gandhi's assassination case, Kehar Singh, the one of the assailant who was hanged to death, was only one of the conspirators who was not present at the spot. But even then the Supreme Court has awarded the death penalty. So this is the case at par with the Kehar Singh, wherein the Supreme Court has awarded death penalty and finally it was executed, and the Kehar Singh also. So, but now the most debatable question that is cropped up, that whether we can control the delay, that is the precise question. Because the very purpose of the deterrent sentence is not only to punish the very criminal, but to give a message to the like-minded person. If there is a delay, then I personally feel the very purpose of deterrent sentence is being frustrated. So therefore, we have to find out a new mechanism. We need a new mechanism, and Dr. Singhvi will agree with me that whether we can prescribe any time limit, time frame to the President for deciding such mercy petition. That is the precise question, and there should not be any scope to say that whenever there is a will, there is a way, or whenever there is a political will, then there is a way. Thank you, Dr. Singhvi.
Avoid
well, I think Abhishek Manu Singhvi agrees with you.
No, I had said in the beginning,
he agrees with you completely,
that instead of pointing fingers, every time when I am in power, you will say I delayed by 10 days, he will say I delayed by 20 days, there is no time limit. A time has come a long while ago, I have said this more than 3 years ago, that you must prescribe a constitutional time limit, whatever it is, doesn't matter whether it's 1 year or 18 months or even 24 months. But you prescribe that from the apex court decision, there would be a time limit, so that irrespective of political color, irrespective of government, this operates. And that's good governance if you do that.
Arnab, can I say
sorry,
one
doctor,
word?
that doesn't take away.
But sorry, Dr. Singhvi, what I would like to suggest...
Abhishek Manu Singhvi can make a very pious remark irrespective of political color and all that. But it is the same person who just told you in your own show few minutes back, saying that BJP's demand is a political demand. If BJP demand of hanging Afzal Guru was a political demand, which the Congress has now done, this UPA government has now done, have they played the same political game on this country?
Dr. Singhvi?
Either he should not say that it was a political game. It was a political demand on the part of the BJP. It was not a political demand on the part of BJP.
The BJP has never failed at any point of time in India to try to exploit what they think is their definition of nationalism, jingoism or patriotism. They believe that by saying that you are not hanging Mr. Afzal Guru, you are not being patriotic enough.
Please come to this issue. Please come to this issue. I am repeating what you said, Mr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi. You said BJP stand is political. If BJP stand of hanging Afzal Guru was a political stand, and by hanging Afzal Guru, have you committed the same political crime that you are accusing the BJP of?
No. You are completely...
What was the intention? What was the motive in delaying this execution? And what was the motive in accusing the BJP of making a political demand in the first place and then pontificating that we should keep politics out of all these things? Please explain. I am prepared to keep politics out of this. I am prepared to say that Rajiv Gandhi killers also should face the same consequences. I am prepared to say.
What about Rajwana? What about Rajwana? What about Rajwana? Yes. What about?
I am telling you on this program today. Yes. That dancing killers also should be treated on the same lines or the same par.
Saying it is not enough. You are part of the government despite your position. 1 minute. Despite your position on terror, despite your position on no clemency on terrorists, your ally in Punjab is the advocate of clemency for the killer of Bian Singh.
UPA's ally in Jammu and Kashmir has also done the same thing.
Doesn't matter. I want
we are not pointing out. We are not.
I want you to answer for the Punjab government.
Yeah, we want the Punjab government to take the call on this issue and come clean on this. Yes, I am prepared to say it.
What have you done so far?
Arnab, please.
Your state government, the Shiromani Akali Dal BJP government has filed a mercy petition on behalf of a man who is the killer of Beyan Singh and who said, let me complete that I do not believe in this constitution, in this law, and I do not want any mercy from a state which I don't acknowledge.
I am telling you,
why are you advocating for him?
Let the law take its own course.
That is
let Supreme Court decide that issue. Let the Supreme Court decide that issue and go to a logical conclusion on this.
How come you
even on this, even on Afzal Guru.
I want to go back to Sabha. Sabha, I find it interesting here. The moment I mention Rajwana, Seshadri Chari takes the line, let the law take its own course.
Yes, this
clearly,
is exactly.
Clearly, let her comment, please. Clearly, there is a lot of politics.
This is what we said. This is what we said about
politics.
Rajiv Gandhi killers. This is what we are saying about the attackers on Parliament. And this is what we are saying about
my point is politics is at the center of these decisions. Abhishek Manu Singh, we will not acknowledge that the delay is due to politics. You will not acknowledge the delay is the reason why your government in Punjab has become an advocate for a terrorist. Sabha, how are you viewing
this? No, we are not an advocate of terrorists. No,
a neutral voice. Sabha,
you are putting words into my mouth.
You have filed a petition on his behalf.
If the government has filed a petition, it has to go
you have filed a petition on behalf of Rajwana.
Let the Supreme Court throw that petition out.
You are scared of hanging a Babbar Khalsa terrorist given the strong sentiment that is there in the state, and there is no defense from that. That is your actually zeal, Mr. Seshadri Chari. That is your actually zeal as you take on the Congress party.
No, not at all.
It is. I want to get in Sabha here and then I'll go. I want to get in Sabha and then go back to Abhishek Manu Singhvi. Sabha, is that not an actually zeal of the BJP? What's your take?
Arnab, of course it is, and the BJP has always played this kind of politics about identity, but even the Congress is doing it here. The Congress, at this point, Arnab, let's not forget, why did the Congress choose for this particular file, this sensitive case to come up right now? Why did they do that at this point? They want to show that they're a strong nation.
What are you alleging?
Taken away
What are you alleging?
The BJP.
What are you alleging?
I'm saying they want to show that they are a strong party right now, because there is this Modi shadow looming over Indian politics. They have taken away an issue of the BJP. The BJP, I know, is surprised that the Congress government has executed Mr. Afzal Guru. There is a political plan beyond this, because laws do not move at this level beyond politics in this country, Arnab. So let's look at what the BJP, of course, plays politics. So does the Congress.
No, Sabha, you speak for yourself, please. Sabha, don't speak for the BJP. Don't speak on behalf of BJP. BJP is not surprised.
Sir, I have a question for Abhishek Manu Singhvi.
So speak for yourself.
I have a question for Abhishek Manu Singhvi.
Can I finish?
Dr. Singhvi,
Mr. Chari keeps shouting. I'm not able to say anything sensible.
In the past,
I'm saying something.
I want question, sir. I'll give you full turn. So just I want to ask this question to you. It is very relevant, Dr. Singhvi. Allow me one question to you, Dr. Singhvi. Then Home Minister Mr. Chidambaram went to the extent of accusing the BJP of looking at the issue through a communal prism. And he said, and I quote, April 7th, 2009, sir, there are cases much above in that list where the death penalty is being reviewed. Mercy petitions have been pending and no decision has been taken to execute the death sentence. And therefore, to take up Afzal Guru's case as an isolation, then I am afraid that one has to suspect that you are looking at it through the religious prism. This is April 7th, 2009, sir. As recently as April 7, 2009, Mr. Chidambaram said this. You said Q, Mr. Chidambaram said religious prism. Sheila Dikshit said law and order. Tonight there is neither a religious prism, the Q has disappeared, and there is no law and order problem in Delhi.
Now, can I answer, Arnab? If you'll allow me to make 3 or 4 points in less than 2 minutes, please, without interruption. Point number 1, none of what I said, Mr. Chidambaram said or Sheila Dikshit said should suggest to anyone that there is a queue cast in stone, because the logical corollary of what you are saying is, in that case, a person would not be executable at all. If what you are suggesting, in the way you are interpreting it, is that according to Sheila Dikshit, once she said that there is a possibility of a law and order, it can never be executed. Afzal Guru can never be executed. Nobody has said so. We have Afzal Guru. There have been perceptions, and government, state and central take a holistic view, and a point of time will come when he would be executed, but there will always be an argument. It's before a parliamentary session, it's after a parliamentary session. That's point 1. Point 2, which I was at pains to emphasize, I repeat it's not a question of me or Mr. Chari. It's the BJP and the Congress which matter. We are individuals. Mr. Chari may have a very reasonable viewpoint. That doesn't matter. The BJP's viewpoint has been completely political, partly communal and partly jingoistic. The three examples are clear. I asked those three questions and there's no answer till now. Question number one, from 98 to 2004, the so-called Loh Purush, how many did he execute, including the killers of Rajiv Gandhi? Question number two, in Rajona, I asked this question specifically, and the point you've raised, but I want to ask a very specific question. We said very well, you are saying BJP that the Badal government is doing it. Are you prepared to condemn the Badal government on this issue? Absolute eloquent silence from the BJP, even today.
You didn't answer my question, but anyway,
it's what the
last response from Mr. Chari before the break.
Number three.
See, the question here is, okay, BJP was absolutely on the wrong side till 2004. From 2004 to 2012, on Rajiv Gandhi killers, what has the UPA government done? Can you please answer? Number one. Number two.
We never
Why did Rajiv Gandhi's daughter visit the killers of
on these issues?
Her father?
We never shouted on these issues.
And what conspired between them? Will you answer this to the parliament, please? And number three, on all these issues, what is your stand?
Okay, well, I think there's a tossing. Both sides are tossing. Both sides are tossing to each other. No, I think you're tossing to each other. No, I think
because these questions have been raised, I am saying specifically, if you want to play politics, we are prepared to play that game.
Well, I think there needs to be absolutely no politics on terrorism.
If there has to be no politics on terrorism at all, I am prepared to come on stage. I am prepared to come on stage and say that Rajiv Gandhi killers should not be given any mercy. Bain Singh's killers also should not be given any mercy, just as Mrs. Indira Gandhi's killers were not given mercy.
Ladies and gentlemen,
the attackers on Parliament was not given mercy, and it was a correct decision.
Taking a short break.
And if the judiciary has to take its own course of action, let the judiciary take its own course of action.
A very short break here on Times Now. The debate will continue on the other side. On this part of the debate, the question is whether those who have been saying this is whole a conspiracy to frame an innocent man have got it completely wrong. Shabnam Lone is a senior advocate of the Supreme Court. She's joining us from Delhi. Majid Memon, National Secretary of the NCP and senior advocate. Smriti Irani, Member of Parliament of the BJP, and Rahul Narvekar of the Shiv Sena. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Shabnam Lone, had this been a conspiracy to frame an innocent man, the kind of line that you are taking, why would S.A.R. Gilani have been let off? It is actually a tribute to this nation's judicial process and its commitment to holding the truth, upholding the truth, that the evidence was weighed on merit, not on suspicion. The evidence was not even measured on emotion. It was measured on merit. And the 2003 judgment, October 2003, 392-page judgment is a testimony to that. I hope have you read it?
Arnab, can I respond? I can't hear.
Yes.
I can't hear.
Go ahead.
Hello? Hello? Well, Arnab, I don't agree with what you have said at the very outset. This conspiracy theory, I don't know who is saying about conspiracy. Well, I am strictly on the procedure that has been followed in this case. And I'm saying that the procedure that has been followed in this case is bereft of natural justice. And you would say, naturally, how? The first question would be, has the law taken its own course? Or was the law taken in a manner, was it hijacked by people who wanted the law to take a particular course? See, when Mr. Narvekar is here, I heard him in the morning. He made a specific statement. Mr. Javadekar of the BJP made a specific statement saying that it was our relentless pressure and the pressure from the media that actually made the government take this decision. So, in the backdrop of these two statements, is it not fair for me to say that this was a decision that was brought about in the wake of political expediency.
First rebut coming in from Smriti Irani. Rahul Narvekar, you have raised your hand out there.
Then secondly,
okay, because a specific reference was made to Rahul Narvekar. Rahul Narvekar goes first.
I would. Now, what is the law laid down by the Honourable Supreme Court? Go to State of Haryana versus Jagdish. What does the Supreme Court say? Supreme Court says, if there is inordinate delay in dealing with a clemency petition, the delay in
now you're quoting the court. I will have to quote the court as well.
Grant of clemency.
You are quoting the court. I did not want to quote the court. But if you quote the court incorrectly, Shabnam Lone, please allow me. Shabnam Lone, I did not want to. I simply wanted to get a reaction from the other panelists. But if you, Shabnam Lone, quote the court out of context it incorrectly, then I will also quote the court back to you. You are a lawyer. Please remember Maru Ram versus Union of India, where the court says political vendetta or party favoritism cannot but be interlopers in this area. The order, which is a product of extraneous or mala fide factors, will vitiate the exercise. This was said in that particular case. And it was also said that human beings are not chattels and cannot be used as pawns in furthering some larger political or social government policy. This is Jagdish versus State of Madhya Pradesh. In other words, there will be lobbies who will want to use the case of the parliament attack to further their political interests, to use human beings as chattels, as pawns in that game. But Shabnam Lone, it cannot be allowed. And you did not answer my question about S.A.R. Gilani being let off. I want responses. Smriti Irani raised her hand.
No.
I first go across to Rahul Narvekar, who was referred to by Shabnam Lone.
By the court about S.A.R. Gilani is incorrect.
Here the counter argument.
Incorrect. Do you
Here the counter argument.
Do you challenge the veracity?
Rahul Narvekar, please. Shabnam Lone, Rahul Narvekar, please.
Well, I think
letting of S.A.R. Gilani.
Well, I think Ms. Shabnam Lone is getting a little too carried away in an attempt to express or put forth her views on this matter. And in that bargain, she has forgotten to quote a lot of other relevant things, which I said along with what I did this morning. Ms. Shabnam Lone, when I said the pressure of the media and the pressure of the parties in opposition, I did say this pressure only came into force after the Supreme Court, the apex court, gave its judgment. And the pressure was with regards to the inordinate delay on part of the government. Never did I say once that the parties in opposition or the media interfered with the legal process in place. So let's get facts first before we put them in the right perspective. Number two, we are talking about selective...
Smriti Irani, Shabnam Lone says the process has been flouted. Shabnam Lone says the process of law has been flouted. Your response? I saw you raise your hand while she was making an introductory
I think that I would like to, at the onset, on Times Now, completely reject this attempt to play victim with the hanging of Afzal Guru. In fact, on Times Now tonight, I would like to applaud the Indian judicial system, which even gave a terrorist a chance to be a part of, to go through the due process of law. While Ms. Lone is deliberately, possibly not looking into the fact that this is the same judicial process that acquitted Gilani, this is the same judicial process that sentenced Shaukat Hussain, and this is the same system which allowed Shaukat Hussain for good behavior to get out of prison before he served his term, is the process through which Afzal Guru was awarded the death penalty. As an Indian today, I am grateful that we have a robust judiciary which, irrespective of the emotion which and the anguish that the nation went through after the attack on Parliament, applied itself to all the evidence presented before it and then ensured that the maximum punishment as prescribed by the law is awarded to Afzal Guru. And I think apart from the Supreme Court verdict, which was placed before the entire nation, one should also hand over tapes of Afzal Guru's interviews to various journalists where he himself has confessed to the crime of attacking the Indian state.
I remember that.
Well, I would also like
don't
to
make Afzal Guru out
India
to be a victim. Shabnam Lone, you will be treading on very thin ice, and you know that, because then we can get into details of exactly what Afzal Guru did, what his role was in the attack, what the evidence is against him, and what he was convicted of. I can debate that one-on-one with you, but Majid Memon has been waiting a long time. I want Majid Memon to come in, and then I'll come back to you. First to Majid Memon of the NCP, please. Go ahead, Mr. Memon.
Please give me a couple of minutes. Now see, I would with respect tell Shabnam Lone, she herself being a lawyer, I don't think there should be any difficulty for her to follow what I am trying to convey with highest respect. Afzal Guru's trial was conducted in an open way, in the sense that he was given an absolute opportunity to defend himself. His trial was concluded, and if the trial court found him guilty for an offence of murder, multiple murder, terrorism, and awarded death penalty, you are aware, madam, that when death sentence is awarded, it goes into double, triple scrutiny. There is a confirmation by the High Court, then there is appeal in the High Court, then there is appeal in the Supreme Court, and especially in the case of Afzal Guru, there was yet another innings in the Supreme Court by way of a review. You know, all these applications of mine by various judges did not notice this violation of the natural right which you are claiming today. It is very sad. You see, after having given him the maximum opportunity to defend himself, and as Arnav rightly says, that we can't find fault with the system, this particular judicial system of trial, more particularly when in the same trial, a similar offender like Gilani was given benefit of doubt. Gilani was not convicted because the evidence against him was not in a manner which could totally exclude his innocence, and therefore he was granted benefit of doubt. If Afzal Guru's conviction was upheld from court to court, right from bottom to the Supreme Court, right up to the review stage, and then if anybody, much less a lawyer, criticizing it, is nothing but bordering on contempt of court. So I think Ms. Lone will correct herself. Of course, as far as the delay in execution, timing of execution, political motivation are all debatable questions. For and against, one can speak. But if you are speaking against the findings by the highest court of this land, I think all the bar of this nation would be entirely in opposition. You will find, Madam, I am sorry.
Would you like to correct yourself, Ms. Lone? I give you a second opportunity on this Newshour debate tonight, and I'd like to remind you, most humbly. I'd like to remind you most humbly. Can I remind you, Ms. Lone, most humbly, of what Justice Reddy said about S.A.R. Gilani's conduct? Justice Reddy said in his judgment, there are serious suspicions about S.A.R. Gilani. Unfortunately, this man appears on some TV channels as some kind of an expert on the subject. Yes. The fact is, S.A.R. Gilani, the court had serious suspicions about his role. Times Now does not put S.A.R. Gilani on air, because we cannot forget overnight that even the court had strong suspicions about him, but the court had the maturity to say that suspicion alone is not sufficient to convict a person. That shows the maturity of the Indian judicial system, which you as an advocate are a very strong participant. How can you stand in judgment of the same system in an unfair way like this? Ms. Lone.
Yes.
Aren't you being completely selective?
Listen, Mr. Majid Menon, I have got great regard for you as a lawyer, but I am astounded at the way it is being put forth as if we are discussing the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court. The way you people are putting, we are not talking about the Supreme Court judgment. We are talking about a clemency petition pending under 72. The way you people are talking, it appears as if 72 has no relevance.
So we must understand.
Does 72 have no relevance?
Talking of post-Supreme Court decision, fine.
Separation of powers. You are overlapping the jurisdiction. No, you are overlapping the jurisdiction. 72 is a separate power that the President has.
Show me a clause.
Once the court has given a judgment, it's under its own constitutional power. Why are we confusing the two issues? And why are you trying to put
I want to go back to Smriti Irani.
I fail to understand. Why?
Smriti Irani.
I fail to understand.
Smriti Irani.
Why? And then in the dead of the night,
Ms. Lone, please don't execute
that man.
I want to argue this objectively and not emotionally, please.
Why do you have to do things in a deep, dark manner, and you don't allow the family to meet him? Yes.
No, Shabnam.
Yes,
Shabnam, I think this also can be met. There is no difficulty. Please let us not get excited. See, what you say, there is some substance. Arnav, there is some substance in what she is saying. And where she is right, we must endorse that. You know, there are decisions of the Supreme Court, one you cited, which says, that a condemned prisoner cannot be kept for an indefinite period alive, because once the law has imposed upon him death sentence, let him die. You can't make him live with a shadow of death for years. Of course,
it's a very convenient.
Say that. And
but Mr. Majid Memon, I want to put that to Smriti Irani. That can be a very convenient argument.
Yes.
You exploit that ambiguity on that provision to keep playing a political game to delay the case. When it gets delayed, then like in the case of Rajiv Gandhi's assassins, you quickly put a petition in court that it's got delayed for too long. This is the rarest, no, this is the rarest of the rarest of the rare, and isn't that itself ground enough to treat it as an extraordinary case differently? Smriti Irani's response to Shabnam Loan, please. Smriti Irani.
Like I said, Arnab, I will not only applaud the fact that the Indian judiciary applied itself to the best in terms of the laws of the land. I would also here categorically state that after the Supreme Court rejected the review petition, BJP and many political parties in the country which are in the opposition continuously asked the government of India as to why, when the highest court in the land has awarded the death penalty to Afzal Guru, why is Afzal Guru not being hanged? That is a part and process, the political process that we undertook as a political organization. But for Ms. Loan to, on your channel today, question the veracity of the judgment itself is extremely shocking and unfortunate. This is the court which conducted itself to the best of its capacity and ensured that a man who waged war against India is awarded the death penalty. So for them to play now victim with regards to the hanging of Afzal Guru is not only shocking, but I think is downright disgusting. This is a nation that awaited justice for years. Though the justice was delayed, today it was finally done. And I feel that as a political organization, I have every right and it's my responsibility.
Smriti, to you I will ask one question.
Mr. Menon, let me finish.
I have never, no, Miss.
I am choosing my words carefully, Miss Loan. You are in no position to threaten me as to what words I use on Times Now.
No.
Miss Loan, I know the law enough to know that when you... Miss Loan, I know the law enough to know when the highest court in this country has applied the law and given a judgment. I know that as a member of the bar, you are currently, madam, in contempt of court. I know the law enough to know. I know the law enough to know that the families of the martyrs of this parliament attack awaited the judicial process to complete itself. So a man like Afzal Guru can be hanged.
In contempt of court. Absolutely not. I am not in contempt of court. You are,
madam, I am absolutely of the belief that as a political organization, it is my right and my responsibility to question the delay of this death penalty which was to be awarded to Afzal Guru in 2007. For you to claim that this is a pressure which was unworthy of a political organization is extremely unfortunate. For you to play victim on the hanging of Afzal Guru today is equally unfortunate, and in
1 minute on the debate. 1 minute left on the debate. Majid Memon wants to come in. Ladies, please, 1 minute on the debate.
For this hanging to take place,
I want 1 minute on the debate. Majid Memon wants to come in.
It is absolutely unfortunate.
1 minute. As I said, let's argue this tactically and in a straightforward, objective manner, not emotionally, please. Please, can I have, please, 1 minute. 1 minute, please, ma'am.
It is absolutely unfortunate that you come on a national channel in this country.
I'm a responsible officer of the court. Don't tell me that I'm in contempt of the court. I'm a responsible officer of the court, and I.
Miss Loan, you are in no position to dictate.
Then I must read out something.
You are in no position to dictate what I feel about the hanging of Afzal Guru.
To bear with me, Shabnam Loan. I request you to bear with me, Shabnam Loan.
I am
Shabnam Loan and Smriti Irani, please bear with me for a minute. Just a minute. I want 30 seconds from you, please. 30 seconds from you, and I shall quote what the court said. The court said the appellant Afzal Guru. Hear me. Don't outshout me. Hear me.
And by the way, in state of Haryana versus Jagdish, Supreme Court has specifically said that delay in itself constitutes a valid ground for grant of clemency.
No, that is absolutely right.
I am on that.
Ms. Shabnam,
you could not delay. It can equally be argued, Shabnam Loan, that the problem was that despite all the attempts to obfuscate this in politics, this was not obfuscated in politics. The truth came through. I want to simply read out one part before I wrap this up. The court said Afzal Guru is a surrendered militant who was bent upon repeating the acts of treason against the nation, a menace to society, and his life should become extinct. These are the words of the court, not the words of any political party. Yes, Majid Memon, please. Majid Memon wanted to come in. Your turn, sir.
Only 1 minute, 1 minute. Yes, I just request 1 minute, Smriti, 1 minute. I am asking BJP, for whom you are speaking, please tell us that if you are very much concerned with regard to delay in disposal of mercy petitions or delay in hanging a condemned prisoner, why are you not taking up the case of Rajiv Gandhi's killer and Ben Singh and only harping on Afzal Guru? That's all. That's my question.
May I answer
Okay, quick answer. Quick answer and then wrap up.
May I answer that? I think Mr. Menon missed BJP leaders on Times Now I think Mr. Menon missed BJP leaders on Times Now today, where they have reiterated that be it the killers of Rajiv Gandhi or be it the killers of Ben Singh, they should be brought to justice. What Mr. Menon needs to ponder on is the reason why the killers of Rajiv Gandhi have found sympathy in 10 Janpath. Mr. Menon, you need to ponder over the fact as to why is it that the killers of Rajiv Gandhi have found mercy in 10 Janpath. That is an issue that you need to ponder about. I think the BJP has categorically stated that if you wage
as you are aware, Mr. Memon, and Smriti Irani, the question of why the Bharatiya Janata Party has not taken an aggressive position on Mr. Rajwana is a subject of debate. We don't need to settle it here and now, but I will come back to you. I thank you for participating. Times Now will ask the questions on Rajiv Gandhi's killers, on Ben Singh's killers, and it will also ask the question on Mr. Afzal Guru. I thank you all for participating in that debate. Chief of the former head of the group of interlocutors in Jammu and Kashmir, Dilip Padgaonkar, advisor to the Chief Minister of Punjab, Mashijinder Singh Grewal, national spokesperson of the Congress Party and member of Parliament of the Rajya Sabha, Renuka Chaudhary. And my first question is to Ravi Shankar Prasad, Deputy Leader of the Opposition in the Rajya Sabha and Chief National Spokesperson of the BJP. Ravi Shankar Prasad, your entire argument of a soft state that is soft on terror is blunted not once but twice. The government hangs Kasav and the government hangs Afzal Guru. The Congress seems to have been stumped by the decision this morning. The BJP, I'm sorry. The BJP appears to have been stumped by the decision this morning.
Arnav, I am very sorry to say that this rantings of yours is going since very morning, to which I take a very strong offense, not only objection. It was a judicial process because of law. Decision taken in August 2005, a review rejected in January 2007. A delay of more than 8 years was there. But what we have said, a belated stand taken because the attack on Parliament was the attack on India. And we see it not as a political issue simpliciter, one election or two elections. We see it as a larger concern of securing the identity and integrity of India, of which the most visible symbol is the Parliament. Allow us to see like that. If the people wished, why you are asking me question? The day Ajmal Kasab was hanged, you kept on ranting for the whole day. What about Afzal Guru? You have been equally concerned, Arnav Goswami, as every Indian must be concerned. And today is not the day of rejoicing. Today is not the day of scoring a political point. Today is the day to ensure that we rededicate ourselves to the resolve of zero tolerance against terrorism. In that way I see it.
Thank you very much for your keen observations and for your compliments right on top of the Newshour debate this evening. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, it is my bounden duty to remind you that the basis of what you describe as my rantings is the BJP's repeated instances on 7 different occasions in May 2012 to have a white paper on why the government has become a soft state, and the argument of BJP leaders is that we have become a soft state because we have failed to hang Afzal Guru. This is the condition of our state. Afzal Guru was the cornerstone, the fulcrum and the epicenter of not my rant, but your rant against the UPA for becoming a soft state.
Arnav Goswami, do we deny that the BJP has been very forthright in the fight against terror, and we shall continue to do so in support of security forces,
in support of
yeah, they have taken your argument away.
Killed with impunity. No, just a minute, let me complete now. We have heard you since morning, at least now hear us. The point I'm trying to highlight is this: there will be occasions inside the parliament and outside the parliament to have a long debate on the issue of terrorism, as to where we went wrong, as to what more steps are required to be taken so that India remains secure and free. But today, when a decision has been taken, when capital punishment has been awarded, let us leave it at that, except to rededicate ourselves to the resolve of zero tolerance against terrorism.
I'm afraid my rant will continue for a little while longer, but I'd like to go to Renuka Chaudhary. Leave it at that, says Ravi Shankar Prasad. Your response?
Dawning of wisdom. Dawning of wisdom is what I'm saying. That at last they see that this is the way forward. Good. It's a good start for the new year.
Why is everyone saying this is political? The UPA took this decision because it's preparing for an election.
And this is ridiculous. I don't even want to dignify that by justifying. Who's speaking? Are you speaking or am I speaking?
No, I'm not neither speaking nor ranting. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad says, do you want me to reply? But the question was to Renuka Chaudhary and Mr. Prasad. I'll come to you the moment she finishes. Yes, please, Renuka Chaudhary.
No, there is nothing political about this at this moment. The timing is a natural conclusion of what was triggered long time ago. It just happens to come before Parliament. I mean, what does everyone expect us to do? Say that, no, we'll hang on to this till Parliament is over so that it doesn't implicate us? That's absurd. And it's cynical. It's a cynical way of looking at things. Today, an issue has been put to rest, and I think we should leave it at that. I don't even know why we are even discussing something like this on national TV. What is there to discuss on a man who attack this country?
Sir, because we need to and
the governance has taken.
I'll tell you why we are discussing this, Renuka Chaudhary. I'll tell you why we are discussing this. We are discussing this because we want to be convinced that there is no politics behind these decisions. I mean, I can go on and on about how the Lahore bus trip was followed by Kargil, Kargil was followed by Agra, Agra was succeeded by the attack on Parliament was followed by Operation Parakram, Parakram ended without any outcome, and after that the government entered into a ceasefire agreement with Pakistan. But again, Ravi Shankar Prasad will say that I am ranting. The fact of the matter is, Mr. Prasad, your argument is also rings a little hollow, not only because of what the government has done, but because of your own track record, wouldn't you agree?
Arnab Goswami, I cannot question your right to reopen the wounds from 1947 itself. Why are you starting from Kargil? Go to 1965, go to 1962, go to 1948, go back further. But today is not the date for that. And I'm saying with all degree of certainty, I'm challenging you for a full-fledged debate on Kargil and Operation Parakram. I have been doing that with you in the past. I am willing to do that.
Thank you.
But I regret to say, why you are reopening it today? Please don't do it. My reason is very simple. Today, a process, though delayed, has taken place. The idea of India, the security of India, the fight against terrorism, zero tolerance against terrorism is certainly important. I know I have a lot to say against Renuka Chaudhary and her party on the issue of terrorism, on a whole lot of things. But let us separate that debate for a different occasion. I wish to trust her that the decision is not election-oriented. And on behalf of the BJP, let me make it very clear to you, Arnab Goswami, we don't treat Afzal Guru issue as one election or two elections. It is very important for India. That's how we see it. And I request for you to kindly see it that way.
Sir, all this while, Mr. Prasad, all this while it was a political issue for you. Now that he has been executed, you are saying I will not make it a political issue. For the last decade, I have heard nothing but politics over Afzal Guru. And today you are saying that we will not make it a political issue. Nevertheless, I will...
But I must clarify it here because you are accusing me. The BJP has been raising it not as a political issue, but an issue of security of India, an issue of integrity of India. And that's how we see it. And therefore, I gave the comment in morning, though belated, but the right decision taken. Not rejoicing, but the decision to really safeguard the security and integrity of India.
So when do you think Balwant Singh Rajwana should be executed? And don't you think that it is quite horrible that the state should become an advocate on behalf of a terrorist of the Babbar Khalsa who killed an ex-Punjab chief minister, whose case is being openly advocated by your coalition partner? You say that the Congress should not do vote bank politics in the Afzal Guru case. I want you to call a spade in the case of your ally, the Shiromani Akali Dal, and not dodge my question by saying that the rule of law should take its own course.
I know this question was to come from you because this question you have been repeating this morning again. I'm sorry to say that. I hope for my program some different question would have been there, but since you have raised it, let me reply. The BJP stand, Arnab Goswami, is very clear and
categorical. It is the most relevant question.
On the issue of terrorism. All right, wait for my answer, please. On the issue of terrorism, there should be no discrimination. That is stand we have taken very clearly, categorically, in Punjab and also at the nation. But having said that, Arnav, it is very important that every accused or a person convicted has got the right to seek clemency. And if an application has been filed, we'll expect the government of India to immediately take...
He's not asking for clemency.
Disposal.
He did not ask for clemency.
He has not asked, but people on his behalf have approached. They have stated grounds. Take a decision on that.
Who are the people? It's the state. So please, sir, he did not ask. Your government asked.
Arnab Goswami, I wish to make it very clear to you. I understand that application has been moved by SGPC and not by the state of Punjab on a point of factual correction to you. But I'm only stating that let a decision be taken at the earliest because the President will take a call upon the aid and advice of the Government of India. I hope you are quite aware of the constitutional provision in that regard. But that right of consideration...
Well, I'm completely aware about this case. I know every detail. I'd like to go to Maheshinder Singh Grewal. I'm coming to you, Dilip Padgaonkar. On the 26th of March, Ravi Shankar Prasad, this is what the terrorist said. He said, I hear in newspapers that the Akali leadership, the Shiromani Akali Dal, BJP government are making efforts to get me mercy. Let me make it clear that I don't want or need mercy of the leaders of an Indian state that I do not believe in. This is what Rajwana said. Despite that, his mercy petition has been forwarded by the state government. Something which has been criticized by the Supreme Court, which said that the Rajwana clemency plea was a drama enacted by the Punjab government, March 2012, sir. I am only pointing this out, not to score a brownie point, but to say, sir, you are on slippery ground. In the Punjab case, Maheshinder Singh Grewal, can you tell us why your chief minister, why your chief minister wants to stop the execution? Mr. Grewal is also leaving the debate. Why am I not getting clear answers to this? The question is very simple. Renuka Chaudhary, would you like to come in on the debate on Rajwana? Mr. Grewal doesn't want to answer questions on this. We are on slippery ground here.
I don't want to enter this issue, Arnab, because just now we are being blamed despite doing what we did. We are being blamed either way, and they're still raising questions on the integrity of us as a government when Afzal Guru has been hung. And they're taking the moral high ground on preaching about how terror is a unifying factor against which we should fight. All that very well. They should answer this. Let them answer for Rajwana, and we'll take a position after that.
Well, the state government came and lobbied with the centre on Rajwana.
Yes. But the state government has to
let me ask you a very simple question.
And say it.
Yes. Yes, go ahead. Yes, Mr. Prasad.
My point I have told you, Arnav, the BJP state position is very clear and categorical. We don't want any discrimination on this issue. But if an application has been filed, certainly the government of India must give its comment and let the president take a final decision. And let the law take its own course. The decision has been taken by the Supreme Court. In the case of Bhullar, we had taken very seriously. I remember myself making comments in public in my press conferences. Therefore, our stand is very clear. But today, if the application for clemency is there, we would expect the government of India to expedite its disposal at the earliest. What is wrong with that? And then the law take its own course. Our stand is very clear, I told you.
Well, the court said the entire thing is a drama. When the person is convicted of a murder of a chief minister in broad daylight, it is being noticed that the person is guilty of terrorism. In this case, he has found support of political parties. Political parties have garnered support from such persons. How can they now lead them? These are observations of the court, sir. I'm not making them up. I'd now like to go across to Dilip Padgaonkar. I don't want to stay only focused on this one particular issue. Dilip Padgaonkar, have these groups that have so-called built the argument about Afzal Guru being a victim, despite the way in which the court was very generous with S.A.R. Gilani, who's giving these groups legitimacy, in your view? And have these groups been cornered a little bit with the public mood these days?
The people who are giving legitimacy to these groups are those who practice human rights in an extremely selective manner. These are groups who fundamentally go along with separatists in Kashmir who are against India, against the Indian state, against the system itself of a democratic republic. So my first observation therefore is these outfits and their fellow travelers, because they have fellow travelers, what I call soft separatists, these are the people who have been waiting for a day like this because they knew that time was running out for them. Do not forget that since the summer of 2010, there has been a very, very rapid change for the better on the ground. Look at the number of militant incidents that have taken place, the amount of infiltration has gone down, the huge numbers of tourists and pilgrims who visited Jammu and Kashmir. I think there were people who were extremely disturbed by this return to normalcy. And especially so, and this has been said openly by the terrorist groups stationed in POK, that once the Americans begin to withdraw from Afghanistan, you wait and watch, the so-called jihad or the freedom struggle is going to heighten. Therefore, I think rather than spend time arguing about whether due process was followed, not followed, whether this is political, not political, our immediate concerns should be that we as a nation ought to stand with the people of Jammu and Kashmir. We need to stand with the government and the administration of the state to ensure that these people who are inimical to India, they do not go up to
who's mollycoddling them?
Mischief is nipped in the bud.
Yeah, we know. Who's mollycoddling them is my question. Who's mollycoddling them? Renuka Chaudhary, you know, we are allowing your government, both in the center and in Jammu and Kashmir, in which you are a coalition partner, is very determined to mollycoddle with and engage with separatists, forgetting the true face of these men who have openly in the last few weeks undermined the sovereignty of India by having meetings in Pakistan with globally declared terrorists, including the mastermind of 2611 Hafiz Saeed. We asked this question, I'm sure Ravi Shankar Prasad will remember this, we put out an exclusive report on this 2 weeks back. There was no action from your government, either in Delhi or in Srinagar. Why are you giving such a long rope to these pro-Pakistan, anti-India separatists, Renuka Chaudhary?
Ajaz, I don't think it is fair to oversimplify what the issue is. It is far more complex than this, and there is no either-or solution to this. And I don't think we can trivialize what the government is doing. There are two governments involved in this, and believe you me, work is going on. It's not something that we can air on national television or come out and say things at this point in time. And I think all of us collectively have a responsibility that we keep this in the right direction and not create a hype about it for things to arrive at a natural conclusion. You will appreciate that we cannot posture. We do not have
that's always the reply that I receive. That's always the reply that I receive from those in power. That Kashmir is too sensitive a subject for us to share the details of with you. I just want to ask you one simple question, Renuka Chaudhary. These people have snubbed you. These people have snubbed the government. They have snubbed Dilip Padgaonkar.
They
have snubbed Dilip Padgaonkar, who headed the team of government-appointed interlocutors. They told Dilip Padgaonkar, we will not meet you. Then they have no qualms in going to Pakistan and meeting the leadership of the ISI and Hafiz Saeed.
The process is on.
So what?
Yeah, this is not something on egos. We are not considered. We are not taking their snubs or whatever you think. You don't even know what's actually happening. And I'm sorry, I cannot come out and tell you what is happening on national TV. I think we should watch very carefully and be very guarded. I mean, this is really not tea-time television discussion. This is a lot more serious and a lot more sensitive.
Dilip Padgaonkar wants to come back on that point.
I merely want to say that we now need to look ahead. I just want to remind all your listeners that the Prime Minister appointed 5 working groups. They appointed the group of interlocutors. These 6 groups have given a huge number of recommendations to address the political, economic, social and cultural issues facing the people of Jammu and Kashmir. Some of these recommendations have been implemented, some others are in the pipeline. But the key thing was that these recommendations needed to be discussed at a political level. It took the government of India 6 months to make that report public, and after that, there has really been no serious discussion on that situation. That situation, therefore, has been left to
That's the point, Renuka Chaudhary. That's the point, Ms. Chaudhary. And I want to continue to ask you why. Yes, Ravi Shankar Prasad, you want to come in right now? Go ahead, please. Ravi Shankar Prasad, please, and then I'll follow up. I have one more point to Renuka Chaudhary. Yes, Mr. Prasad.
No, I want to make it very clear one thing. Kashmir of 2013 is not the Kashmir of 1984 or Kashmir of 1989, 90 or 91. Thousands of innocent Kashmiris have been killed by terrorists from across the border, sponsored from the soil of Pakistan. Many religious leaders have been killed. So many panches, sarpanch and others of the Gram Panchayats have been killed, which has been so elaborately discussed by you in a very courageous manner, for which I need to compliment you. Therefore, the people of Jammu and Kashmir, peace-loving people, have seen through the game of terrorists. But yes, you are completely right. These separatists who maintain a conspicuous silence when so many innocent are killed, whether it is Gilani or others, when they go to Pakistan, how did Pakistan permit them to meet Hafiz Saeed? And if they met, what kind of protest did Government of India register with Pakistan? Those are issues, because Hafiz Saeed stands the principal accused of 26/11 massacre in Mumbai. Therefore, I quite see the validity of your point that if these separatists who do not enjoy political clout, they have fought elections, they have been rejected. But if they go to Pakistan, why did the government of Pakistan permit or facilitate their meeting with Hafiz Saeed? And if it did the government of India lodge any protest? That's a point, very important point, need to be appreciated and highlighted.
Renuka Chaudhary, you must reply on that one. We can't, the question is back again, and I think there is a very valid context tonight in which Ravi Shankar Prasad is asking you that question. No, Renuka Chaudhary, let us not forget these are these separatists who stoked the fires in the turbulent summer of 2010 at the behest of their masters in Pakistan. You will remember that Gilani's sinister plans were exposed. Paid agents of the ISI giving orders to people to carry out stone pelting were caught on tape. The transcripts were put out, if you remember that report on Times Now of the Pakistani agents telling their, their units in Kashmir to create trouble. Why don't you just, isolate the Hurriyat, the pro-Pakistan group, and as Dilip Padgaonkar says, they're fellow travelers.
Arnav, I do not wish to address this issue at this juncture when there's very sensitive work going on. And I really don't want to join this issue at this point. Yes, sometime later I can tell you what exactly happened at this point. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to jeopardize anything. And it's all right for others to have their opinions about what we're doing as Government of India. The government will answer for that. But I don't think it's right at this point for us to take up this issue. You have to keep in mind the people of Jammu and Kashmir. And it is sensitive. Let's not trivialize that.
Are you suggesting that Dilip Padgaonkar and Ravi Shankar Prasad are being irresponsible in asking questions about why you are soft on people who have meetings with Hafiz Saeed? Dilip Padgaonkar, is there something so sensitive that we can't take a position on an issue of non-national that matters to national security?
Arnav, if you and Dilip Padgaonkar are going to decide it, then you don't need the Government of India. Go ahead. And don't put words into my mouth. I'm not saying anything about Ravi Shankar Prasad or Dilip Padgaonkar. They're in great luxury space where they can say what they want. We have to be a lot more accountable.
So anyone can go on an Indian passport and go and meet Hafiz Saeed, have secret meetings with the ISI.
No one has said that. No one
be on the payrolls of the Pakistani army.
Are you saying it?
And call for hartals in the Kashmir Valley without having any political legitimacy.
What is your recommendation, Arnav? I'll convey that to the Government of India. No, so you tell me what is your solution. I'll convey it to the Government of India, and we'll do every operation on national TV so that, there is that much great transparency. We don't need to keep anything under shroud. That's fine. If that's the way to operate and you believe that is jurisprudence, we'll go ahead. So tell me, what is your solution?
Can I ask a question? I don't know.
My job is to ask questions. Dilip Padgaonkar wants to respond to that, and I am asking a very legitimate question. I think Dilip Padgaonkar is responding to you. Yes, please, Mr. Padgaonkar.
No. I am merely requesting Renuka Chaudhary to convey to the government how important it is to consider the recommendations made by the Prime Minister's 5 working groups and the recommendations made by the group of interlocutors. They are all designed for the welfare of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, of all the 3 regions of Jammu and Kashmir. And among the recommendations, there are a few which particularly need to be urgently looked at, and that pertains to the relief and rehabilitation of the Kashmiri Pandits and several others who have had to flee their homes because of endemic violence in the state. So these are things where I think across the board a consensus is possible. They are not really very contentious issues, provided that they are taken up at the level that they need to be taken up, namely in Parliament.
Parliament's coming right.
Fine, I want to ask one last question on this part to Ravi Shankar Prasad. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, I need to unfortunately come back to what you described as my rant about the BJP. During L.K. Advani's tenure as Home Minister, when he was also Deputy Prime Minister, a period in which you held many important portfolios, including Information and Broadcasting Minister, no decisions on mercy petitions were taken. No decisions were taken, including Tamil Nadu state government cleared the death penalty for Rajiv Gandhi's assassins. May I ask you, Mr. Ravi Shankar, why did you lack the nerve? Why did you lack the nerve to move ahead with these decisions? A nerve which the UPA too, in its very last year, seems to have displayed.
Arnav, I'm sorry to say that. Again, this question you have been raising since morning. I have checked out on facts, and your understanding is not correct, including on the killers of Mr. Rajiv Gandhi.
Really?
And may I put a counter question to you? 10 years down the line, has the final decision been taken by the Congress government, led by Sonia ji? Is it not a fact that Sonia Gandhi herself requested that in case of Nalini, her capital punishment ought to be commuted? Come on, these are hard facts. Therefore, to blame us that we chose
What
not to
fact?
take any decision.
She conveyed her sentiments.
Right. I'm not joining issue, Renukaji. Try to understand. I'm replying to Mr. Goswami's very eloquent.
No, you are free to join issue, please. Yeah, please don't join issue only with me. Please also join issue with the Congress.
No. I'm only saying if Sonia Gandhi chose to convey her sentiments, let us respect that and leave it at that. But to blame Mr. Advani, who was then the Deputy Prime Minister and Home Minister, I have checked up from many sources.
Mr. Prasad, this is the second time you have said leave it at that today.
Mr. Aruna Goswami.
But I will not leave it at that.
No.
I will ask you that the governor of Tamil Nadu on the 21st of April 2000 accepted the advice of the government. Accordingly, the death sentence of Santan Murugavan and Periyavalan was confirmed on April 28th. The government sent the mercy petitions to the central government and you did nothing.
No, please, I'm sorry to say that. When you are saying that, I'm only saying that these considerations were there. Something which I don't want to wish to share on national television. But when I'm saying that, believe me, there have been many factors. Don't you know that Priyanka ji herself went to meet some of them in Tamil Nadu jail? Therefore, you are putting everything.
What are you suggesting? Priyanka Gandhi's meeting? No, Priyanka Gandhi meeting Nalini
and blaming us for not taking a decision. I can only say you are not correct on fact, and the inferences are totally unwarranted. And rest, I know a lot. When I confront you
Mr. Prasad, I'm sorry, I will have to continue my line of questioning, please. My question to you, Mr. Prasad, a follow-up question to you, Mr. Prasad. A follow-up question to you, Mr. Prasad, is that Priyanka Gandhi met Nalini, if I am not mistaken, during UPA 1, right? What happened in the NDA government between 2000 and 2004 is my question to you, sir.
I am today asking you a question. When I am repeating, you don't ask me many sensitive things. It is now 10 years when the Congress party led is in power. Have they taken a decision? But for what I am simply trying to highlight to you is, don't draw adverse inferences against us for not taking a decision about Nalini particularly, which you are trying to highlight. Others were granted. Therefore, when I am saying that or not,
no.
It is a sensitive issue taken that without any political considerations. And no delay.
Sir, I'm sorry, I'm putting that question. Please, let the mystery unfold. I am aware of what's happening in Punjab, that there are clear political considerations that the Shiromani Akali Dal government is afraid of taking action. But I want this mystery solved once and for all. What is happening in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case? Renuka Chaudhary, because the court has said that malafide factors, political factors, party favoritism, extraneous reasons cannot come in the course of justice. Ravi Shankar Prasad refers to Priyanka Gandhi's meeting on 3 occasions and he leaves it there. Surely, I want a response from you. He's constantly putting it back in your court on why you've not done anything in the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. Why don't you reply to him directly, Ms. Chaudhary?
No, there's nothing to reply to him, Madhav. Priyanka going to meet was a personal visit for her for a closure for having lost her father. She didn't understand. Can we please respect that sentiment and leave her?
No, I'm sorry for interrupting here.
She has nothing to do with the clemency or it has nothing to do with...
I did not wish to object to Priyanka ji's meeting her. That is the inference you are drawing. But since you are grilling me, I thought I must put the record straight.
I have drawn no inference. I have repeated what you have said.
But I did not have any objection to Sonia Gandhi writing or conveying her sentiment, nor did I put any objection to Priyanka Gandhi meeting her.
Neither Sonia Gandhi is writing and expressing
I'm only trying to convey.
Nor the effect of Priyanka going to meet, they're totally different. That was the personal expression of their sentiment and their...
Surely, you are totally right. I agree with you.
Terrible grief that they went to. So that has nothing to do with the bearing on what the judicial process
absolutely,
is, or what
and they have a right to have these meetings. But my limited point today, my very limited point today, which I would like to raise once again, I'm sure I have your agreement on this, is that with the decision on Afzal Guru, there will be a degree of renewed focus. Dilip Padgaonkar, do you agree? Renewed focus on the Punjab Chief Minister assassination case and the Rajiv Gandhi assassination case. That renewed focus is a bit inevitable, isn't it, Mr. Padgaonkar? It's going to be there.
There is bound to be a renewed discussion, renewed focus, primarily because, as several channels have been saying all day today, we need to make sure that the Supreme Court decisions are applied within a certain time frame, that there should be no discrimination as far as death sentences are concerned, that this question of dragging a particular matter for years on end is absolutely unfair to the victims of these killers. So there has to be very soon a discussion in Parliament about amending that particular article of the Constitution to enjoin the government of the day to make it sure that Supreme Court's sentences are carried out within a particular time frame. I think this is the hub of the whole matter is this. We cannot, because there could be a collateral damage to law and order because of other political considerations, hold back the implementation of the Supreme Court sentences. I think that is the real focus of the debate that has to happen very soon in Parliament.
Let's debate that. Let's debate that. Let's debate that openly. Yes, last word to Ravi Shankar Prasad.
Arnav, very two quick points. The assassination of Rajiv Gandhi was indeed very, very unfortunate, condemnable. So was Beant Singh. But as far as the attack on Indian Parliament was concerned, that was an attack on India. Mr. Padgaonkar has certainly a very valid point. There is a need to have a defined timeline in disposal of clemency applications because the President acts on the aid and advice of the government. You cannot have 7 to 8 years of delay as has happened. One last point which I am really dying to make, Arnav.
Excuse me, I think
some of those gentlemen
India's
who are raising the issue
Prime Minister is equally a national issue. Killing a Prime Minister of India is attacking India.
Yes, maybe you are right, Renuka. I am not having any dispute on that. Gravity is certainly there.
Yeah.
One last point, Arnav, because I have to go to other channels which I like to highlight is, many organizations have talked of human rights. With Arnav Goswami, nation need to ask, when we talk of human rights, do the victims of terrorist violence and their families have got any human rights?
I totally agree with you.
Thousands of innocent people have been killed.
I cannot agree with you more.
With impunity by terrorists across India. Do their families have human rights or not? Do the families of 5 policemen and 2 watch and ward staff, including a lady constable who was killed, their families have got human rights or not? This issue is equally important, and the nation need to debate this highly one-sided issue of human rights need to be confronted very strongly and very effectively. Thank you, Arnav, for giving me the chance. Thanks a lot.
I'm completely with you. On that, we are with you because some issues are beyond politics, Mr. Prasad. A point very importantly raised. Renuka Chaudhary and Dilip Padgaonkar, stay with us. Siddharthnath Singh, spokesperson of the BJP, is also joining us in this part of the debate. Mr. Singh, I just have a small suggestion that bring up any issue in the run-up to 2014, but take away internal security and terrorism from your list of political subjects for debate. Is it possible for the BJP to do that? Instead, work together with the government and with all right-minded people, including Dilip Padgaonkar and all others, to not make terrorism and internal security a subject of political powwowing before a general election. You can take the first step.
Well, certainly. I would love to say yes to it, but the fact of the matter is that a consensus needs to be brought. If the government of the day thinks in that way also and makes a first step to ensure that yes, the points which BJP or other opposition leaders and the like-minded people like Dilip Adgonkar and others are raising, they are incorporated as a national agenda, particularly on the issue, well, they can call it another different name, POTA, but we do need a strong law on terrorism, and the government of the day stops, using hard words or coloring terrorism like the Hindu terror, etc. I think yes, it is possible, but the government of the day needs to move on in this direction.
Renuka Chaudhary, the onus is also on you, and rightly so. If Sushil Kumar Shinde and others from your party... No, go ahead. I think you got the drift of Siddharthnath Singh's... No, my question is, if Sushil Kumar Shinde and other individuals from your party stopped, putting colors to terrorism, making it purple or green or saffron or white terrorism, this debate would not happen. But there also seem to be Congress leaders who are very keen to have this polarization before a general election. I wonder why.
No, I wouldn't want to enter that kind of a discussion. I think it's very demeaning. The Congress party has always said that terror doesn't have a color, but yes, as a Home Minister, the gentleman has certain facts at his hand, and he probably identified it, whatever. But to say that that is going to influence any kind of national view on what we should do against terror is petty. I think Mr. Singh comes and says, oh, but the ruling party does this, that. Please, let's not open that box, because then there's a lot of accounting that the BJP will have to do. We only can't keep going back, rewinding and replaying. Please look at the way forward. The way forward is that we all consolidate, we discuss this, and we move forward as one force. At the end of the day, there's nothing that can take on India when India decides to take a stand. And that is something that they should understand. And that's something Congress historically has always been done.
Yeah, but there is an internal divide. There's a general election.
To the nation.
There's an internal divide. There's a general election coming up.
No, the election has no bearing. Take it from me. No, I'm sorry. The election has no bearing on what we are committed to do to secure this country. Let that be very, very clear. And this is not the first time the Congress has addressed or said this. We have stood by every time, everywhere.
No, but the fact is, Renuka Chaudhary, and this question goes to both of you. The fact is that your party leaders constantly refer to terrorism in different colors, adding it a certain religious and political hue, which is absolutely unnecessary. And Siddharthnath Singh, your party also, which has been saying repeatedly there should be no politics played over death row convicts, has repeatedly played politics over death row convicts. That issue has been taken away from you, but you have politicized each and every subject that relates to the security of this country.
I'm sorry.
You have politicized it.
No, I'm sorry, Arnab. Would you like to elaborate where we have, had a double speak on death rows or on the terrorism, on the terrorists?
How many examples do you want? How many examples do you want?
Well, you may start with one. You may start with one. Okay, one.
I'll give you one and you give me one counter response, only for want of time. September 2011, sure. BJP says officially, we all need to realize that the unity, that the sovereignty and integrity of India is bigger than politics and political divide. Whoever tries to break the country or attack its sovereignty and integrity, whether it is the terrorist attack on parliament or the massacre of innocent people with impunity, must suffer capital punishment after the same is confirmed by the due process of law. There must be no political debate over it. After this, 7 months later, the BJP went on to demand a white paper on Afzal Guru. Every single week, there is a BJP leader who asks questions about how the state has become soft. You want me to give you more examples? I have some.
Yes.
Do you want me to share some more with you?
Sure. No, I'm okay with it. No, you are welcome. If you wish to share, I have a straight answer to you that yes, when
no, you got the drift, I think. No, you wanted examples. I'm never short of examples.
No, I'm okay. I'm okay because you said, but then I didn't know where to, what to answer to you. But now you've given an example. I'll come. You hear my answer also. That on Afzal Guru issue, we all have, from time and again, have raised this question. Well, perhaps as my chief spokesperson had said, it's not the day, but let me also say, yes, the delay of hanging Afzal Guru after the Supreme Court rejecting and the newspapers commenting that there has been the file with the Delhi government for a very long time. 14 reminders had gone to Delhi government by MHA, and all these things get related with certain elections. The politics had crept in, and therefore the BJP raised these questions.
Well, there again, we are back to the same old debate. At the end of the day, neither side is willing to stop taking political pot shots at each other. I'm afraid my attempt to seek a consensus has not been very fruitful.
Trying to raise a political question and politicizing, when we are saying, my chief spokesman said, let's not politicize, then what do? I don't look the other way and say, no, I'm sorry. I take the blame from Mr. Arnab Goswami on the national channel, which is most watched.
Siddharth Singh, Renuka Chaudhary and Dilip Padgaonkar, I'll have to thank you all. The debate will continue here on Times Now. My question will also be on whether the entire element of discretion should now be taken away from the government so far as those in the death row, especially terror convicts, are concerned. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.